made you want to become a nurse?
I wouldn't say I wanted to be a nurse. My family was struggling, my family consisting of all females, and I being the oldest daughter. I decided to help out seeing my mother was struggling with her job. She was close to being fired. So I got out of the house and started looking for work. I applied at so many places, got rejected so many times, worked for a while, then got fired because someone with more experience was there. And I just decided, heck with it. I need to do what I need to do.
Was it easy for your family knowing that you might not have come back?
No, especially when you live in a household of all females. And we all know that girls tend to get more emotional than guys. And my sisters had no idea what was going on, seeing I was the oldest one. All they knew was I was leaving and I wasn't going to be back for a while. My mom was scared, seeing as I was going to help out, trying my best, and not come back, it would have hurt her. And I don't know how she was afraid of telling my younger sisters of how it happened and why she needed to go out. I didn't want me to go and come back. Well, I didn't want me to go and not come back and for her to think it was her fault, that I was the reason why she went. So in a sense, I was afraid, they were afraid, we were all afraid.
How did joining help you?
You see, in a way, when I was looking for job to job, none of these jobs were something that I was interested in. It was mostly just because my family needed it and I wanted to help. And when I decided to join, I ended up enjoying it, liking it. It's like I had found my purpose.
You're a teacher. How is that like?
Stressful, but rewarding.
Your students are freshmen in high school. Do they ever ask you about the war?
Yeah, all the time. I guess they go home and play video games and they think they know most about it. They have this romanticized version of it. But when you're in it and you live it, it's not the same. I hope they never experience it, and I feel like it's my job to open up their eyes.
How did you handle everything that came after?
Faith in God, faith in myself, and faith in the journey.
Do you want to go back to nursing?
I've always thought I could, but even to this day, if I were to step into a doctor's office, I can't. Basically, I can't. There's no way I can. I have hope in God that someday I will get over it, but I will never look at nursing in the same way.
What was one thing you would do before going into the fray?
I would pray. It had to be a thing. I wasn't the only one. I prayed it wouldn't be as bad as the last one.
You got a tattoo of angel wings on your palm. Does it have any significance?
Oh, yeah. It represents my fallen brothers and sisters and everyone who I've ever helped.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I'm a high school student who has never experienced war, but I know someone who has. Her name is Colonel Phoenix.
I was about 8 years old when I decided to join the Marine Corps. And I came home and I told my father that I wanted to be a Marine, and he was a very angry man. He started yelling and screaming, and the veins were bulging on his neck and his face turning red. And he said, "No daughter of mine's going to join any armed service, especially the Marine Corps." And he went on yelling. It seemed to me like 20 minutes, but it was probably more like a minute. And I was already doing the out-of-body experience, because I'm going to get beat any minute now, so I'm just going to leave, And he something snapped in him, and he went, wait a minute, she's 8 years old. Next week she's going to want to be an archaeologist, and the week after that she's going to want to be a lawyer. So what am I thinking about? At that time, women had to be 21 to go into the military. They could go on a parent's signature at 18. Well, when I was 16, they changed the law so that it was the same as the guys. They could go in on a parent's signature at 17, on their own at 18. But when I was 17, I thought I was scot-free because I could go on my own at 18, but when I was 17, they changed the law so that we were no longer going to have the old Vietnam-era GI Bill. And it had been in the news, and everybody knew about it. Everybody was discussing it. So around this time of year, I went home and I told my dad, you know, you said back when I was little that if I still wanted to join when I was 18, you would sign for me. He said, yes, and I would. If you were 18, I'll sign for you. I said, well, I still want to go, but I need you to sign for me now. He said, you're not 18. I said, when I'm 18, I don't need you to sign for me. And I said, you know that the new GI Bill is coming in, and it's a piece of crap. It's worthless. It's nothing. It's not, you know, not what I want. And but if I sign up now before the 31st of December, I get the old Vietnam-era GI Bill. He said, no, the agreement was when you're 18. I said, yeah, and by this time I did want to be a lawyer, so I knew all about arguing. So I talked to him, and I went back and forth and back and forth. And I saw I was going to not win anything. And so I walked out. I said, okay. Well, my mother, in the next room listening to the whole conversation like mothers do, she said, I'll sign for you. I said, no, you won't. It's between me and him. And she was like, ugh, you know. So I waited. My birthday was in February. I thought, well, you know, now that I don't get anything, it doesn't matter when I sign up. So around my birthday, I heard my mom and dad talking, and my dad said, see, I told you I'd win. She didn't sign up. I waited. In June, I didn't tell anybody. I just went and signed up. And I came home, and I waited till everybody had sat down and had a fork full of food. And I said, oh, by the way, I joined the Marine Corps today. So my mother was very stressed because she thought I was going to be injured, and my father was very stressed because he didn't win, for one thing. But I really think at that time they thought that I would be, you know, my face would be scarred, and, you know, it was a terrible thing to, you know, go into the Marine Corps where they beat people up.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how it all started. In boot camp, the first few days are really, really intense. And when I first got there, I was like, oh, who signed my name to that contract? Because I'm not sure this is really what I want to do. But I also didn't want to just say, hey, I don't want to do this and go home and then have to tell everybody that, oh, I screwed up. So after the first few days, you know, you get into the routine and you stick it out, and you're fine. It's more of a mind game than anything else.
Yeah.
But it was good.